Hello and welcome to the Infinity Bros podcast, the only podcast that's perfectly balanced as all things should be. My name is Isaac Edlin. I am your host tonight. As you have noticed, I am not Max Mosier. We have a couple of guests tonight. Number one is our fellow Infinity Bro, Robbie. How are you doing, Robbie?
I'm doing great. Having a great weekend. Spent a little bit of time outside and then watched movies the rest of the day. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, outside, and it was hot outside today.
Very hot.
I'm assuming it was hot up there in St. Cloud too. It was like almost to the point where I was a little too warm and wanting to go inside, but I was like, you know what? This is the first like hot. Well, I guess yesterday was hot too, but it was like one of the first hot days that we've had. So I was like, you know what? I should live it up a little bit.
I got my mowing done. That's all that mattered.
Ooh, there you go. Nice work. All right, and then our very special second guest is someone who is near and dear to us as the Infinity Bros. It is our dear friend, Reformed Jedi. Hey, Jedi, how are you doing today?
Hello there. I'm well. How are you?
General Kenobi.
The only proper response.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. So for those of you guys who don't know, Reformed Jedi is a streamer on Twitch. He used to be part of a podcast that we got to be pretty good friends with. And I mean, it just turned into a pretty cool online friendship. We have a lot of those kind of online friends these days. But yeah, it's been really cool watching your channel just blow up over the last couple months. It's been amazing to see all the success that you've run into, and it's well deserved, because if you guys have not checked out Reformed Jedi's Twitch channel, you need to go there. Jedi, why don't you tell us a little bit about your Twitch channel?
All right. Well, normally I'm dressed a little differently on the channel, usually in my full Jedi garb. We play a lot of different things. Right now, I'm focusing on story, narratives, RPGs. Star Wars, of course, is the main theme of the channel. But we dabble in all sorts of various things. We're family friendly because I am a Christian. You can't get away from that in my channel. We talk about things as they come up. But all success, anything that has happened for me, to me, is all glory to God, because I don't know what I'm doing any of the time. So,
love that. Well, and that's incredible, because I mean, you mentioned that you're family friendly, and that's due to your faith, and you were a part of a podcast that I previously mentioned with Reverence and Awesomeness, that we actually got to know you guys a little bit when you were doing that podcast, and I noticed that you've been uploading them to your YouTube channel, and I am very thankful for that, because re-listening to those is a treat. So
slowly but surely, yes, yeah. We had a maximum of 7 episodes, so I'm piecing them together to throw them up. But yeah.
So what are the chances that we get like a reunion like tour or something like that with Reverence and Awesomeness?
I can't make any promises. However, the 3 of us will be in the same area in a week and a half. So we
Sounds
might
like a
be
tease
able.
right there.
We haven't discussed it. This is just me talking.
Okay.
But we might be able to get a reunion episode or something put together. But I haven't thought that out at all.
Can I ask a question, Jedi?
Of course.
How often do you wash your Jedi garb?
Well, as often as needed. Usually when I spill something. But there are times on sweaty nights, they might need to be cleaned a little more regularly. But
I know you do some VR stuff. Do you ever do it in your Jedi stuff, or do you do that?
No. That was casual
Okay, I was
Jedi
gonna
VR
say.
Friday extravaganzas.
Oh, man.
Because I would be dead.
What's that lightsaber game? Is that on PS5?
Oh, the Vader
Beat Saber?
Immortal?
Depends.
Okay,
Beat
but
Saber is on everything VR.
Beat Saber.
But there's
I want
also
Beat Saber
the
in the Jedi garb.
yes.
Yes.
There's also the Vader VR games. Which
Vader
was
Immortal.
Really cool. But
Yeah, that looks awesome. Well, if we're asking questions, I might as well ask, when did you realize that you were Force sensitive?
well, from an early age, really. I've always felt akin to the Force. But I didn't really attain my Jedihood until much later in life. I was
You
far too
you didn't
old by
attain
council
the-
standards, you know.
You didn't attain the rank of master until much later. Yes,
That's right.
yes,
Until all the other
of course.
Jedi were dead, I'm like, hey, I can be a master.
So
know?
do you know what your midichlorian? Is that what it is?
Midichlorian.
Midichlorian count was?
It's over 9,000.
It's over 9,000.
Exactly. There we go.
Little mix in there. A little mix. I want to know what the name of your ship is, though. Do you have a ship?
Well, I don't have a ship, actually. Not one specifically. I fly whatever's needed. So I don't have a name of a ship. But my handy-dandy droid is named GG5, or GG for short.
So out of all of the ships in Star Wars, what's your favorite one? Or maybe the ones you get to fly?
Favorite ships. So going back to some games here, the Squadrons game that came out earlier or later last year. Fantastic game. Some really good ships in there. B-Wing is a lot harder to fly than I ever thought it could be. I really like Maul's ship. That
okay.
thing, I mean, it's Mandalorian, basically. It's a Mandalorian ship. But it's clean, it's nice. I like it a lot. I also like the Bad Batch's ship. They have a nice little ship that's really, really kind of cool.
Well, that's cool and all, but I actually was talking about ships, like relationships.
Oh, I don't ship any ships. No.
Oh, okay. Well, as Star Wars geeks, we have our own language, our own culture, and now our own devotional. Thy Geekdom Come is not your average devotional. It's made for geeks by geeks, with the depth that geeks need in their fandoms and want in their faith. Thy Geekdom Come Volume 2 and a 5-day free version is now available at geekdevo.com/infinity. And stay tuned till the end, because we're going to be giving away a copy of this amazing devotional. Check it out. Go ahead and scroll down. There's going to be a link down there that you guys can go check it out as well. Free 5-day version. You need to go check it out. It's really cool. How'd you guys like that transition?
That was a smooth segue
Lovely.
that was impressive.
Max has been slacking on the transition, so I thought I'd pick
I
it
mean, you
up
kind
for
of had to
him.
set that one up, so it wasn't very natural. But I mean,
Yeah,
you did your best.
yeah. But it came naturally because you asked the first question, and it just flowed. It just flowed. So, well, while we're asking questions, Jedi, we have a segment called the Infinity Gauntlet that you will be running. Okay, so the Infinity Gauntlet is a segment that we put all of our guests through. And it's basically to get to know you a little better. Each Infinity Bro gets to take a stab at you, give you a question that may or may not be difficult to answer. And at the end of the gauntlet, we'll see if you passed. All right?
All right. Fair enough.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the Infinity Gauntlet?
Throw it down.
Are you a heel or a baby face? If you could make any flavor Cheez-It, what would it be? Is it pronounced Grogu or Groku? If Keanu Reeves isn't in the movie, can it be star-studded? It's time for the Infinity Gauntlet, here on the Infinity Bros podcast.
All right, I'm going to give you Infinity Bro Max's question first. So, Infinity Bro Max wants to know, what are the best and worst decisions George Lucas ever made while creating Star Wars?
Oh, all right. Best and worst decisions.
You got some big brain questions
That
here.
is a big brain question, and I was not prepared. So I almost want to say it's the one and the same, selling to Disney. But
Okay. Interesting.
no. Well, hey,
spicy.
Disney has the capital to do a lot of great things, but a lot of the things that they're doing, I don't really like the direction they're going in. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's all in one. It's the best decision he made, but also the worst decision he made because he has no actual creative input to it. Really, I mean, they'll take his notes, but
A great decision on his wallet.
yes,
not a great
$4 billion.
decision for things.
I mean,
True.
come on.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy
Yes.
decision. I think a lot of us would make.
Yeah, that's true. The money decision also, like, I mean, you mentioned it. They have the potential to do so much, and a lot of the things they're doing are amazing. But at the same time, I mean, Lucas had some pretty darn good vision that has kind of lacked in the latest trilogy. as far as directing goes and stuff like that,
The shifting around was difficult.
Yeah, it was.
They needed
a little
one
tough.
director for the whole thing, that not bouncing around. They needed one path through the entire trilogy instead of piecing things together like you were saying. It's just they all wanted to go in different directions to a degree, and it just doesn't quite work that way. But
Yeah,
I will say
exactly.
I do like the newer trilogy as it is. It's what we've got. So yes, it's not what I wanted per se, but it's what we have. So find the joy in it. Don't hate it because
Exactly.
it's not what you want.
Yeah, I think most of us at the Infinity Bros here too enjoyed it for what it was. Like we still liked it. It's Star Wars. Like we love Star Wars, so we enjoyed it. But as far as if we're like ranking them and stuff like that, I know some of us really didn't like The Last Jedi. Some
The
of
Last
us,
Jedi gets thrown to the wolves a little bit.
It kind of really does. But even so, I mean, you look at that movie, and it's such a well-made movie, even if it like totally was going against the vision of J.J. Abrams in The Force Awakens. Like the movie is just beautiful. It is. It's really
Very
cool.
good moments in it.
I rewatched it actually a couple months ago, and I talked about it on stream a little bit because I was trying to take it scene by scene, not the overall encompassing. Yes, we don't like the whole Rose and Finn off on that planet. That whole kit and caboodle could be gone, and it would still be a good movie. But taking it scene by scene, there are moments that are so emotional, like actually touching moments that really you have to want to enjoy it to find those things. I really actually do like The Last Jedi. It's not perfect by any stretch, but none of the movies are. Look at the original trilogy.
Right.
I mean, honestly, it's a great trilogy, but there's some things that could definitely be altered to make it better.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
Chill.
Whoa.
Chill. We don't want the Star Wars
Shots fired.
people to come
Shots
out.
fired.
Oh, they're clone troopers. They're not hitting anyone.
Yeah, but you're totally right. Like, I mean, George Lucas, for all the flack that the prequels get, I mean, the vision in those prequels was incredible. Just how it was executed it's a little up for debate, as to how well it was executed. But I mean, the vision he had for those prequels was amazing. You really have to give it to him for the universe that he created through them. So, all right, that was a great answer. I mean, you're the expert when it comes to Star Wars, as far as we're concerned. So we're all on board with
In
that.
this small triangle of people, you're the expert.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me break out my encyclopedias.
You have more.
Oh,
you
man.
have twice as many lightsabers as all of us. At least
as all of us probably combined. All right, Robbie, why don't you go ahead and with your Infinity
yes, six.
Gauntlet question?
All right.
No.
Yeah,
Sorry,
buddy.
15.
Oh, there it is.
I just saw them.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's
Camera's backwards. Sorry, it
You're
rotates.
good. You have 15 times more than I do, at least. All right. So my question is, you have to combine the Star Wars universe with another fictional universe. What do you pick, and why?
Ooh. All right, hold on. I've
And the
actually
main
thought
characters
about
have to interact.
crossovers.
Crossover.
So
event.
let me ponder this a moment. What about Mass Effect? What if the Mass Effect series combined? I mean, totally different, separate parts of the galaxy, universe, and all that. Could still very well. I mean, we're early
very
on
well
in the
connect,
Mass
yeah.
Effect. What's that?
Could very well connect.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that those could be connected.
Star Wars
but,
does say a long, long time ago.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, why not Mass Effect? Or Indiana Jones is an easy answer, but that's besides. But yeah, no, I think Mass Effect connecting with Star Wars, bring some lightsabers into Mass Effect. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that would be sweet. I think I mean, a lot of people would probably go with the classic like Star Trek thing, have like a crossover.
It's the same.
Past and future,
No.
sure, yeah, it's possible, but no.
All right then.
I was hoping less planetary for my answer. To be honest, I was hoping it would
Less
be something
planetary?
more. Yeah, something more.
Like
more
Lord
out
of the
there.
Rings or something,
Yeah, more out there that has to connect.
That would be interesting.
Just a wild connection. But that works.
That would be crazy.
That world actually like works. Like they can.
Yeah,
make a
that totally
movie about
works. I
that.
feel like totally makes sense.
Okay, Final Fantasy VII. All right, is that a better answer?
See, there you go.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
There we go. That's amazing. All right, so I've got a question excuse me. I've got a question for you from Infinity Bro Jarrett. This branches out a little bit from Star Wars, but it's still included. But in a battle royale of all of Alan Tudyk's movie character roles, who would win? So you've got a lot of options here. You've got K2SO from Rogue One. You got Sonny from iRobot, Watt from Knight's Tale, Wash from Firefly, and he's in a ton of like Pixar and Disney movies, so you could pull from there if you want to. But put those all in an arena and they're battling it out. Who's winning?
That's a tough question, and I've seen most of the references that you're referring to, so that's helpful. But I mean, I love Wash. He's a fun character, but he's not good in a fight. He just we already know what happens to him. Granted, that's not technically a fight, but let's see. So it's basically between the iRobot character and K2SO. I only saw iRobot once, and I wasn't that interested, so I'm going to go with K2SO.
All right. Picks the Star Wars answer. All right.
Kind of brute force versus athleticism when it comes to robots.
Honestly, that is a really tough one because a lot of Alan Tudyk's roles are like comedic roles, so they're not like action roles necessarily. So watching them battle it out would probably be a little painful, honestly.
Could you imagine the quips the entire time?
Yeah, it would be a really funny fight to watch.
It would be a funny fight to the death. Yeah.
I would watch that movie. I'm all for it.
True. That's actually where we go. We got a pitch for a movie here. That's pretty good. All right, we got one more for you, and this is from me. So, you're stranded on a desert island. You get to select 3 video game characters to help you survive and escape the island. Who do you pick?
Yeah, all right. So I'm going to bring... Who am I going to bring? Luca from Chrono Trigger, because she's savvy and can build probably a speeder out of coconuts if needed.
There you go.
So Luca from Chrono Trigger. We've got... Actually, we'll just make it all Chrono Trigger. Luca, Frog, and Magus. There we go. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Putting
Magus
all your
and Frog
eggs in
can
one
battle
basket
back
there.
and forth, and the tongue attacks, biting each other, whatever it takes, just for entertainment.
You need some entertainment, yeah.
Wow, there you go. I like that you're keeping it all contained. You're not like branching out really into the vast.
That's hard. That's a hard question.
It is.
I'm looking at my top 30 games list here. So I mean, we could throw in Link maybe, but he's just okay.
Yeah. When you're talking survival, I don't know.
Survival. I mean,
he would be useful if you've got like enemies on the island for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't find like some sort of flying character. That would make it much easier to get off the island.
Well,
yeah, that's true.
Yes, but who wants easy? Who wants easy?
Yeah, true. You want to make it interesting, that's for sure.
Do you want to be entertained or do you want to survive? You get a choice.
Are you not entertained?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Well, thank you so much for indulging us, Jedi. You have successfully passed the Infinity Gauntlet, and you were before, but now you're officially a part of the Infinity Bros universe. I would say Infinity Bros Extended Universe. Yes, there we go. So because we brought Jedi on for a very special reason today, because we are talking all Star Wars, if you haven't guessed already. We have been watching The Bad Batch, and Jedi has as well. And we are going to be doing some reviews of the first 4 episodes of The Bad Batch. So for those of you who don't know or have not listened to the Infinity Bros podcast before, we do have a special rating system that we use. We rate things on a scale from 0 to 6 Infinity Stones. So we're going to put that bumper right here.
Here on the Infinity Bros podcast, everything is ranked from a 0 to 6 point scale. 0 meaning horrible and 6 meaning absolutely excellent. If all of the Infinity Bros rank something a 6, it gets an Infinity Step.
We are also going to get into some spoilery things. I'm gonna save that for a little bit later, but we're gonna do some non-spoiler stuff right away here. So we're talking about The Bad Batch. The Bad Batch is a show spin-off of the Clone Wars animated series that follows a squad of elite and experimental clones as they make their way through an ever-changing galaxy in the immediate aftermath of the Clone Wars. It premiered on May 4th, 2021, and is currently releasing weekly episodes on Disney+. Yesterday, the 21st, yesterday's episode was the 4th of 16 slated episodes. So we are going to be just doing a quick review of the first 4 episodes. We're not going to go episode by episode. We're going to just kind of like break it down a little bit and just talk about some of the main points through all 4 episodes. But first of all, what we want to know from you guys is coming into The Bad Batch, which honestly, did you guys feel like this snuck up on you? Like when they announced that it was going to be releasing May 4th, I was like, whoa, that seems really soon. I feel like they just announced that, well, yeah, episode 7 just came out, season 7 of the Clone Wars just came out last year, didn't it? It was like the summer of 2020, I think.
Right.
Yeah. And it just seems like so quick that they were just like
Disney's for sure trying to fill in all the gaps. They want you to go from show to show. They want WandaVision to Captain America to Star Wars. Yeah. They are filling all the gaps. They want you to have a show every week to watch. I don't know what the next show is, but
Loki's coming out. This is 16 episodes, so this is going to be stretching out for the summer basically. And yeah, Loki comes out, I believe, June 12th. And then later on down the road, I think we've got Miss Marvel. Do we have any Star Wars? I think...
yeah, we've got a Book of Boba Fett coming in December.
Yes, Book of Boba Fett.
We've also got the Visions, Star Wars Visions, which I believe is coming out this fall. They might have adjusted it, but that was the Japanese anime inspired.
Yeah, that's like the anime.
That looked amazing. I'm really excited to look into that.
That'll be cool. I think those kind of shows are really fun because like we have no idea what to expect from them, so we don't have these wild, crazy expectations. So we just go into it like, just all right, let's hear what you've got for us, Disney. And they have not. I don't think they've failed to deliver on pretty much anything they put out on Disney Plus at this point. Max would beg to differ on WandaVision.
I don't think anything's really wowed the people yet, but it's all been good content, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, it's all been watchable. It's not, so far, there's been nothing that I've had to, like, turn off. Like, still watching Mighty Ducks, still enjoying that. I'm sure there's other little kid ones that I haven't watched, but I'm sure, they're hitting all the gaps for ages and times.
You haven't been keeping up on your Bluey and other shows, Puppy Dog Pals or anything like that? Okay.
Unfortunately.
I'm just upset that they don't have the new DuckTales on Disney Plus.
Man,
I don't want to keep paying for it on Amazon.
Yeah, and they have a lot of the old stuff too. Like I think they have the old version of the DuckTales on Disney Plus, right?
All the movies and cartoons from my childhood are on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I started watching Darkwing Duck again a while back. Oh, that's such a good show. And the old animated Spider-Man. Oof. Oh, so good. Okay, so back to Bad Batch here. So basically, what I'm going to ask from you guys is, what was your hype coming into this? I'm going to have you rate your hype coming into it, scale of 0 to 6, and then your rating through the 4 episodes that we've gotten so far. And maybe like a 60-second non-spoiler review of what you think so far of these 4 episodes. So, Robbie, why don't you go ahead?
All right. Hype coming into it was probably like a 3. Out of the triangle that we've created here, I'm probably the least Star Wars fan, the smallest Star Wars fan. I don't know how to put that into words. I didn't watch a whole lot of Clone Wars. I've struggled to get through that, and so I knew this was coming out, and I knew that it was a fresh start. So that was exciting. I was excited I can start where everyone else is starting, and I'm not missing out. So I've been excited about that. And then my rating so far of the entire season as a whole is a 4.5. Is that what you... I don't know if you wanted that. I forgot what your 3 questions were. Um,
And then just a quick, like, your thoughts on the first 4 episodes.
so right now I'm sitting at a 4.5 on the show as a whole. I would say after the first episode, I was at a 6. The first episode was very, very good.
Yeah, that first episode was good.
It was very good. And then they've quickly already gone into filler mode. It seems like episode 2 had a little more story to it, and then it's kind of been filler since then with hints at what's going on in the bigger picture. And that's what brings my rating down slightly. But that's kind of the same thing we got with Clone Wars, where there's a very good story underneath everything, but there is going to be filler, more filler, and then you'll get the story. And that's something I'm enjoying. Like the episodes are good, but you want to know what's going on in the bigger picture, I guess. But obviously, then they would have struggle making a 16 episode season. So that's where I'm at with The Bad Batch.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you there, but I'm going to save that for my portion. Jedi, why don't you go ahead and tell us what your rating was coming into it, your hype coming into it, your rating through 4 episodes, and just a quick review of the first 4 episodes.
Okay. So coming into it is about a 3. So I haven't loved all of the animated stuff that's been coming out. Like Rebels, I liked a lot. I haven't watched every single episode of the Clone Wars, but close to it. I mainly focused on the Obi-Wan, Maul, and Ahsoka heavy plot lines in the Clone Wars.
Which were the best parts of Clone Wars, so...
Because you have filler there as well.
Yes.
So going into it at a 3, I would say I'm probably at about a 5. A 5 overall for the 4 episodes, and let me tell you why. So the first episode, absolutely phenomenal. Agree with you, 6 on that. And once we get to the spoiler version, we can dive a little deeper as to why. But overall, I'm still going to say a 5. Yes, there's some filler aspects to it, but each of these episodes has connected to little pieces of the Clone Wars. So you've got lots of either settings, characters, themes, all relating to. And again, I don't want to dive too deeply in, but there's some good connections here with some of these characters. I mean, they're all technically kind of new characters, but some of these characters that symbolize other relationships in other characters. So lots to look forward to and how they develop. Seeing some characters we know from other series pop in has been fantastic. Yes, there's filler moments. Not going to discount that whatsoever. That's how they make TV. But they leave you dangling with that final scene to where where you're gasping for air and waiting for the next one when it's really the next 3 when they actually answer that question that you have. But yeah, no, totally with a 5 right now. I think it's very engaging, very entertaining. I'm looking forward to finding out more.
Right. All right. I think I'm right along the same lines as you, Jedi. That first episode was bomb. I loved that first episode. So coming into it, I think my hype was probably, I'd say it was probably around a 4.5 maybe. I really, really, really enjoyed the last season of Clone Wars. Best season by far, in my opinion. And The Bad Batch was a really cool part of that season. It was kind of odd, I felt like, when they announced that they were going to get a Bad Batch spinoff, because they were a pretty minor arc in that season. But at the same time, they do have a decent amount of depth, especially with Echo joining the team in season 7. So I was pretty excited about it. And again, season 7 of the Clone Wars is fantastic. It's a 6 out of 6 for sure. My rating through these 4 episodes is probably a 5. I think I'm sitting right about the same as you. It's been really fantastic, and I think basically, Robbie, you mentioned filler. I would disagree that it's filler. It is very, very slow burn moving, basically, is what I would consider it. I think there is a storyline. No. Filler
When things
is
start to move slowly when a lot of things are happening. It's called
filler. Is in The Mandalorian when they go to a planet that has nothing to do with the storyline. And they just completely go off topic and do something
You're gonna attack
else.
the
That's
giant
one
spider
episode.
chase, you mean?
Yeah,
the giant spider
Those giant
chase.
episodes,
Exactly.
You're gonna attack
Thank you,
one
Jedi.
episode
Thank
of
you.
Mandalorian. When this season of Bad Batch is going to have 10 filler episodes.
Well, here's the thing, though. Look at those filler episodes that you call. They are laying subtext and character development. It may not be big plot moments,
There was
but it is
character
laying.
development
These
in
are
this-
brand
in
new
this
characters.
Ice
Brand new
Spiders?
characters. They have to fill
What character
those
development is there in the Ice Spiders
subtext.
episode?
Baby Yoda is scared of spiders. That's character development. What do you want?
As much as
There's
I've loved
action.
Mandalorian, there were. It wasn't even that many, and I still love those
It was,
episodes.
like a 30-minute
but there were some
episode, and you
episodes
guys are
where it was
holding
just
on
like,
to it for dear life. When you guys are all for the Clone Wars, which is like 80%
Okay.
filler, 20%.
And here's what I'll say.
Immaculate writing.
here's what I'll say about the Clone Wars too. The first 2.5 seasons are basically all filler. They had no idea what direction.
I have tried to get through them. I can't.
If you get through those 2.5, 3 seasons, the rest of the show is very good. It's much better than the first half of the show, because they actually have a direction. Those first ones, and with the chronological order being just like totally whack and messed up, it's very off-putting. The first part of Clone Wars, but Rebels was fantastic.
Rebels, I really enjoy Rebels.
It's really good, and I totally agree with you, Jedi, that they're doing an amazing job at sprinkling in just characters, moments, like little Easter eggs from a lot of other Star Wars content,
Well,
and we'll get into that.
So far, I'm like, I know some of the things they sprinkled in. I know those characters. I don't know the depths of those characters, I guess. But I do enjoy them. That's why, like, we're not too far off. I'm at a 4.5
Right.
probably because I haven't watched as much Clone Wars as both of you. But here I am attacking filler, and I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z. So I really have no right to.
You
attack
have no
filler.
room to talk.
I should not attack filler, but I'm just attacking Isaac because
Oh,
he didn't
man.
like this Ice Spider episode of Mandalorian.
I still liked it. It just was it was an absolute, like, if you're defining a filler episode, that was what the definition of a filler episode
Lend
is.
me your energy. 6 episodes later. Lend me your energy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was still enjoyable. Like, I didn't hate it. It just was a filler episode. But anyways, I will agree with you, Robbie. It's slow moving so far. They are definitely focusing on building character, and we'll get into the characters in a bit.
And
here,
I
but
love learning about all the Bad Batch, so I do enjoy it. I know
Right.
that it's tougher when you know something is filler. You know, as a kid, like watching Dragon Ball Z, I didn't know this was filler. I was just enjoying Dragon Ball Z. It's my characters. It's who I love. As an adult, I'm like, this is filler. Get me to the freaking episodes I care about. I think that's my issue right now.
Yeah.
I'm an adult watching a children's show.
True. Good point. Okay, so here's where we'll get into it. If you have not watched any of these episodes and you don't want to be spoiled, definitely skip ahead to our hot and snot, and we'll get you guys settled out. We're going to be diving into everything that's happened in the first 4 episodes of The Bad Batch.
This is
Prepare yourself.
an Infinity Bros.
Prepare yourself.
Spoiler. Warning.
I have notes. Lots and lots of notes.
Oh my goodness, he's got pages of
Oh
notes
my.
there. This is going to be incredible. I love this. All right, so Bad Batch, guys. Clone Force 99. So we have this ragtag group of basically defective clones that have like special abilities. So I'm just going to list off the characters that we have into it here. We've got Hunter, who has enhanced tracking ability. We've got Tech, who obviously is good with technology. We've got Wrecker, who is gigantic and massive and loves to blow things up. We've got Crosshair, who is basically the Deadshot sniper of the team. And I think that's it as far as the original members. But then we have Echo, who joined in episode, or I keep saying episode, season 7 of Clone Wars. And if you guys remember, if you have not seen the Clone Wars, he is a clone who was, captured and tortured and experimented on. And he basically is still a regular clone, but he's got like a drill for an arm and some enhanced stuff from the experimentation that they did on him. And he just joined the team at the end of this season. And now we've got a new character who is introduced in episode 1 called Omega, who we're still learning about. She is apparently a clone, and we don't really know fully what her power is. But these guys all form this group, and we'll talk about Crosshair a little bit later. He ends up leaving, and they're basically battling it out at this point. But what are you guys' thoughts on this team, first of all? And Robbie, you said you haven't watched all of Clone Wars. Did you watch season 7 of Clone Wars?
I'm making my way through season 7 of Clone Wars. I was watching that
Gotcha.
kind of at the same time watching Bad Batch, which
Okay.
makes zero sense, I know. But that's what.
So what's your first impressions of the Bad Batch then?
I was confused while watching season 7 of the Clone Wars, where I was like, why are we following these people around? So that was kind of off-putting at first. But I've been enjoying them, and then getting to know them a little more while watching the Bad Batch has actually been very enjoyable. And then just watching, my favorite parts so far have been their interactions with other clones, because I think that's hilarious. I've always wondered that.
Yes.
As like a deeper Star Wars
great.
mythos, like, how do other clones interact with other clones? And then you get to see these manipulated clones or genetically mutated clones who get to see all these other clones. I don't know. It's very entertaining,
Regs,
I think.
normal clones.
Yeah, it's entertaining to watch, and that's kind of I've been really enjoying that. But then to see all their different abilities and everything, and I love Wrecker. Wrecker has the heart of gold, but he just wants to destroy stuff.
Just wants to blow stuff up.
Right,
man.
he makes
Come
Omega
on.
that little room though. It's like he's adorable.
Oh my
He
gosh,
just wants,
that's
he's such
just
a lover. He's a good guy.
That was one of those moments, like, as a dad, where I was just like, oh,
Oh no. Not
That was
again.
incredible.
The tears.
the tears are coming. Yeah, I totally agree with everything. Like, this is such a great group of. I love how the whole Camino aspect of the show so far. Like how they're kind of focusing on that because of all of the clone stuff that they're doing. Like, I think that was an underrated part of the prequel series is the Camino, and they kind of almost glance over it. Like, they just they're on Camino for a short time, and then Obi-Wan chases Jango Fett off of Camino, and then it's not really focused on again.
It's interesting to see the generals on
Yeah,
Camino
right,
figuring out
and
what
that-
they want to do with these clones.
Yeah, that goes back to what you were saying, Jedi, is that they're doing a great job of just including Star Wars lore in this show. What's your favorite part so far about the crew, the Bad Batch?
Well, there's a few things. So, like I was talking about earlier, and the symbolism reflecting other characters, we have a relationship that is now developed between Hunter and Omega, which is very, very similar to what we've seen now with Mandalorian and Grogu. So we have this father who doesn't really want to be a father kind of character, taking on this ward, this person who clearly they have an affection for, but don't know how to express that or show that or teach them how to be. But they have this new person, this child with them that they want to that they just want to please, they want to protect, and they want to care for these new adult role figures in their lives. So that symbolism there is quite nice. I like to see how that will go in the forward. I mean, we're talking, 26, 28 years prior to The Mandalorian, so obviously we're probably not going to see a whole lot connected there, except, which we'll get to later.
Not yet.
Yes, episode 4. But anyway, overall, the whole team, I like the team. They interact really well. I mean, it's one guy talking to himself, which helps. But
Yes.
which I find that very interesting. But I do like Wrecker, like you were saying. He's actually a very warm character. They portray him a little less intelligent, maybe, ready
Yeah.
to just charge in and
Blow
crash
stuff
some
up.
heads and blow stuff up. Yeah, yeah, that's what he's there for. But that tender moment where, he also, when you were mentioning making the bedroom for Omega, he also gave her that stuffed animal of his that he was frantically looking for and she found for him. So they already have a connection of almost like uncle niece kind of
Sure.
a relation starting to develop as well. Obviously, they care for this little girl. Who, as we are we going full on now? So
Yeah, go for
who
it.
we now know is a clone. We know she's a clone. Who her progenitor? I don't know who she's based off of. We don't have certainty on. Is it one of the Bad Batch? Potentially, but not likely.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it may be related to episode 4, but we can dive into that a little later if you like. But I think the connection may be there more than anything. But overall, like the team, Crosshair, good soldiers follow orders. Which is
that's
that
a
common-
great line.
That's a great line. That's that implant that's talking to
Yep.
him. He doesn't have the full effect like he did. Or like all the other clones did, but it's there, and it's like you follow the order given, regardless of who gets hurt. So, and then the tension that builds from that whole in the first 2 episodes was just it was impeccable. I really liked, like I said, the character development. You have to look at that more than this little fluff piece. Oh, hey, there's Saul Guerrera, or that old clone trooper who actually went AWOL. And got
Yeah.
married and is
Yep.
living on a planet. So they have all this extra Clone Wars stuff and beyond. But the groundwork being laid for the characters is just fantastic.
Yeah, totally
Sorry,
agree.
I could talk all night long, and I know this is not what a podcast is about.
This
so.
is what we're here for. This is what we're here for, man. So let's just go back to episode 1. We all agreed that this is probably the best episode so far.
Hands down.
Yeah. Order 66. Like, this is just probably the pivotal moment in the Star Wars universe. It is so fascinating that in the past couple of years, we're just getting so many different perspectives on Order 66. And, we're getting different people seeing it through different lenses and stuff like that. And this is just a fascinating episode where these guys are clones. You obviously see it through Crosshair. They all have the implant, and they're trying to, figure that out as they go as well. But Crosshair's apparently is working better than all of theirs. And he turns, he's about to kill the Jedi in episode 1, which is a reference to Rebels. It is Kanan from Rebels, which is a nice little
Caleb
Easter egg.
Boom.
Yeah. I actually didn't really catch that until they called him Caleb a couple times, and I was like, wait a minute. Caleb.
There's more here.
In the final season, season 7 of Clone Wars, we actually see Caleb and his master on a hologram call, essentially, when they're talking about, the war and all this. So we actually got a snippet of this right before it happens in Clone Wars, which is fantastic. And there's also a Kanan comic, for those of you who don't know, The Last Padawan. And if we want to dive into that, I can dive into that and make some comparisons, because they show this scene. They show this scene a little differently in the comic compared to what they did here. So, but carry on.
That is the only thing about that was weird was they used was it Freddie Prinze Jr.'s voice?
FPJ.
That was super weird. I was like, okay,
Yeah, the voice did not match the age of the character.
This small
It just did
child
not
has
work.
this really deep, raspy voice. It's just like, what is going on right now? That was odd. But all the same, the reference was incredible. I was like, okay, that's so cool. I love that they're diving into the Star Wars universe for this. That was just fantastic. And then seeing Order 66 through clone troopers' eyes, that was just another fascinating aspect, because they're literally seeing their comrades, their people. Yeah, so it's just so interesting seeing things through the clone troopers' eyes. So they have their comrades who are literally turning. Zayden was supposed to be on this episode, and I was going to turn to him and be like, they're turning heel. Like Crosshair turns heel. Like it's so interesting to me that
follows orders.
He follows orders. You're right. Technically, they're the ones turning heel, I guess, and according to the Empire. But man, it is just so fascinating seeing that. And honestly, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get tired of seeing Order 66 stuff. Like, just give it all to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just every time I see it, I'm like,
Jedi
this is awesome.
Fallen Order. We got to see that in the game.
Yes,
like that whole semblance of him and his master surrounded by clones on this ship. And Order 66 happens, and then all mayhem breaks loose. And Clone Wars episode or season 7. I'm doing the same thing you are. We get to see Ahsoka and all this with her clones starting to turn on her. You know, we saw it in the movie. It's just seeing it portray and play out in different spots. You know, they flash to it in Revenge of the Sith, but to see it more on a personal level, you've got characters, not just random Jedi that you don't know much about or care about, but you've got Jedi that you've now grown attached to and seeing how it impacted them directly.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, I don't know, every time I see it, I'm fascinated. And I don't think I'm going to get tired of it, no matter how hard they drill this into us, because it is probably the most pivotal moment in the Star Wars universe, you know, at this point. So
yeah, more pivot. I can't speak
word.
anymore. All right. More
us can,
important than
apparently.
even one Death Star blowing up because they had to do it twice.
Then they blew up a planet.
And then a planet, or several planets.
So, I mean, okay, we'll kind of move on here, but yeah, again, that episode is just fantastic. I don't know how they're going to build up to overtaking that episode in my mind. It's going to have to be a pretty sweet build up and finale to overtake that episode to me. I just think that episode was so fantastic.
Well, okay, so let's talk about this Caleb Doom, this Kanan thing. So him and his master had just been pinned down in this first episode by enemy forces, the separatists, the droids, and then the Bad Batch wheels on in and says the cavalry is here. We are the cavalry, and just obliterates them in an instant, essentially. And then the rest of the clones are sent to chase them down and destroy them. So it's a very small group of clones remain, but there's still, 10 plus that are around the Jedi and the Bad Batch. And then the Order comes through. And so we see, again, pivotal key interactions between characters of the Master fearing for her student and just, starting to see what's happening. She's fighting the clones, telling him to run. He starts running and runs into Hunter. And Hunter, oblivious to what's going on with his fellow clones, the normies, or the regs, as they call them.
The normies. I like that better, actually. I'm going to call them that.
The normies, yeah. And he's like, hey, we want to help, don't run. And Caleb/Caden just is seeing a clone.
Of course.
And the fear from seeing a clone, he takes off, and Crosshair starts shooting at him. So, I mean, that whole opening scene from start to finish was just absolutely well done to set the pace for the rest of the story, because you now have this entire tension setting through of the Bad Batch not really understanding what happened, and later finding out, oh, well, now we're an empire, and, we're expected to do these horrendous things like killing children and civilians, and they don't want to do it.
So can I pose the question to you two? Being that you guys are more invested in all of these characters, through the Clone Wars, the Rebels, through Bad Batch, are you worried that the Bad Batch will be able to have a better episode than episode 1? Because episode 1 was incredible, and I guess I don't know where they go from there. Obviously, they'll have good episodes, of course, here and there, but do you see something topping that in terms of story and development for all these characters? Because I'm kind of on the inside, but I'm basically on the outside looking in. I don't know where this goes. It is my biggest question, and it's my biggest fear for the entire show, because I would assume they want to keep this going for multiple seasons, not just one. So my question would be, where could this go, or where would you like to see it go? And can they top this first episode?
Well, I think they can. And because there's so much left unknown. If this was the Clone Wars, and we had already known the full backstory to these characters, who Omega's, donor is, what Thrawn is, or not Thrawn, sorry, Tarkin, his full plan as to whether he's actually, are they... Here's another little thing I'm going to say. They're talking about expense. Why clones are far more expensive than just regular indoctrinated soldiers. So there's that whole political side of things as well. So that can be building. We know the end result. We've seen the future, so to speak. But seeing the points to get there, like what happens? Because they already had some recruited soldiers who would not follow orders. One lost his life, and then the rest followed Poe. But it's just there's so much that can be done in that section. But Omega is going to be the key. And here, as we're looking at this, she is going to be the one that drives this narrative further and further. The Bad Batch is almost a supporting movement to get her where we can get more information. That's really all it is. And building the connection between them, I think. But finding out Omega's donor is going to be the biggest moment because they're leading to something. And it's very apparent, especially with this most recent episode, because we've got Fennec.
Right.
Sorry if I'm spoiling what you're going to get to later on.
No,
but,
go for it.
So we've got Fennec from The Mandalorian 26 years earlier than we've seen her as still a bounty hunter.
Fantastic Easter egg. I love it.
Yeah, it was one of the best. I thought this episode was very, very good because
it was good.
She's not there to kill her. She's not there to kill Omega.
Yes.
She is there to take Omega.
This relationship between Fennec and Omega is very interesting. So let's just back up just a little bit. So we got Omega, who we know is an enhanced clone. They've been saying that. Again, you said we don't know who the donor is. I mean, right away, I kind of was like, maybe they somehow genetically manipulated the Jango Fett, donor material they already had, because she still kind of has an accent, but it's really strange accent. Obviously, it's not the same as all of the other clones, and she's female, so they must have done some other stuff if that were the case. But now, as we learn more and more about her, I mean, you're absolutely right. There could be a totally different donor, and we're learning more and more about that. So you mentioned that there may be a connection in this episode 4. So I'm going to let you expand on that a little bit. What do you think this is? What do you think this connection is?
All right, let me get to my 16th page of notes. No. It's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. Okay, so when we're I think it's episode 2 or 3. They're talking. The Kaminoans are talking about Omega and how that they would like to further see where this goes, but they don't have access to the donor, and there was only one. So that leads me to believe there is not Jango. It's not Jango. It's not Boba. This is someone totally different. You also see her mimicking. If you watch her in every scene she's with Hunter, she is mimicking absolutely every movement and almost every word to a degree. She is absorbing absolutely everything he does. So is he potentially, would they clone a clone? Probably not. Probably not. That's impure genetic material. So, but she's obviously enhanced. So is this a Mandalorian who has already heightened skills, but not Jango Fett? Is this a Jedi, perhaps? I mean, there's so much there that is left unsaid. Is it the first attempt at a Palpatine clone?
That's kind of what I was actually thinking.
Gasp. Also, okay, sorry to interrupt, but also, I believe it's in episode 2, she has the interaction with Crosshair, where she basically tells him, like, I know what you're going to do. So that part of me is like, okay, she has enhancement. We don't really know what it is at this point still. Is this some kind of, telepathy? Is this she can see visions of the future? Like, does she know him so well that she just knows what he's going to do? Like that
would tell me something
that a little better.
Very Jedi-like. Like, that seems more Jedi.
Here's the thing. She also says, and I know why. I know what you're going to do, and I know you can't help it. So she knows about the implants because she actually talked to the Bad Batch about them later. So she knows the implants are there and their purpose. How she knows that? Was it the Kaminoans who told her these things? Possibly, probably. But knowing the intent and what would happen with Crosshair, like you're saying, yeah, there's a little more at play there that is yet to be developed.
Yes, that makes me very excited to see where Omega is going in this season. Omega, Hunter, Tick. Her accent is wild, and I like it throws me off.
It's very Australian. I mean, it very is. But
Yeah.
I was
like
having
zero
flashbacks
sense.
to Lost with Claire. I was
Right.
thinking it was Claire from. See, now I'm sorry,
Yeah,
you're
totally.
Australian here,
I
and
can
I have
totally
to, I have
see
to tone
that.
it down. But
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm totally on board to see where this goes though. And here's where I got okay. I understand the filler thing. Like that is okay, but I think they're doing a better job than just a plain old filler episode. They're slow. It is very slow, and it almost is like painful a little bit about how slowly they're developing these characters.
It's painful because of how good episode 1 was. That's why it's painful.
But they are doing deep dives into these characters, which I appreciate and love. So I'm like totally on board with all of this. And like you said, Jedi, this is all almost secondary because Omega is going to become, I mean, she's already basically the focal point at this point. She's going to become the focal point down the road, like for sure.
Absolutely. Well, look at, I think it was episode 3 when they visited that former clone. Was it episode 3? Because episode 2, they were still developing,
Yes,
and that's when they left,
I think
actually,
you're
was
correct.
episode 2, right? Anyway, I can't remember all of them. But so when they're on this planet, you have Omega given the opportunity. She sees a family with children. And, Hunter thinks you could call this a filler episode if you wanted to, but it's really not. Because, again, you see this fatherly distance. He doesn't want to get too close. He wants the child to have a normal life. However, that's not what she wants, and that's not really what he wants either. And you see that connection. He wants to care for this girl, but we also get to see the chain code set up as well. So this is a whole new thing that was set up by the Mandalorian, talking about chain codes and how that's basically a social security number across the galaxy. That is how you pay for things with your credits. You change them to Imperial, but you must first register. So we don't get any backstory to that in any other iteration. So we are getting more content and setup for the worlds we already know. So this is filling in. It's not filler. It's filling in holes that we have not gotten touched before. So
Right. And I think that is amazing for the people who love Star Wars. I think for the casual, which yes, obviously most of us are.
I would call myself casual.
I think for the casual, just like show watcher or moviegoer,
might be a little mundane.
this might be a little, mundane is a good word for it.
I feel like
But
I'm one step above casual because I do enjoy it. I understand these little things that are happening. It's just that
Right.
I know that bigger things are to come. I feel like I'm attacked for calling things filler episodes. I have to defend myself.
we hold it against you wholeheartedly.
That's
Absolutely.
fine.
Absolutely.
We've been holding
Absolutely.
the episode 3 of Mandalorian against Isaac and Jarrett for a year
Yep.
now. So it's what happens on the podcast.
I still enjoy it. It's not.
Well, take
That's
it
the thing.
outside,
Anything that
outside the
happens.
Bane plot. It's a fun episode. It doesn't add anything really to the story except a whole lot of hysteria over Grogu eating the eggs. I mean, man
my gosh.
alive, was
The
pizza
internet
involved?
freaked
I don't
out.
even know, but that's besides the point.
It's adorable, is what it is. That's what the numbers.
Amazing. Okay, so all right, so we kind of talked about everything. Also, let's just go say a little bit about Fennec Shand, who is played by Ming-Na Wen. Amazing. This episode is the next best episode because of her, I think. I thought she was fantastic and is making this very interesting. And again, like there's some kind of connection between her and Omega that we're obviously gonna find out in the next couple episodes here. I'm excited to see where that goes. It obviously she's working for somebody, and she is tasked to get Omega. We don't know for what purpose at this point. We don't even know who for, but she obviously is taking point to not hurt her. She like wants to keep her safe. She wants to, make sure she's okay. And she's almost like she's very caring in the way that she treats her. So yeah, I think
very gentle. I'm not sure caring, but it was very gentle. There's a value of importance on Omega that is being shown. Yes.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Jetta. Though I think there is some kind of connection here between them, and I'm very excited to see where that leads us. So, I mean, through 4 episodes, where do you guys think this show is going? Robbie, you kind of mentioned it already. Where do you think the show is going? Do you think this is a limited series, or is it just going to be one season, or is this going to be something that they're going to try to continue? Robbie, why don't you go ahead and see what your thoughts are?
My assumption would be that this is something they want to build for at least, at minimum, I would think 3 seasons. It's animated. Like, this isn't like... It's for a lot of people that grew up with Clone Wars, but at the same time, it's still a show for kids. And typically, they don't make shows for kids for just one season. So in my head, I would assume that they want to keep going. I have zero clue where they go, and I alluded to that earlier. I don't know what the next step is. I don't know where they go from here. But they've done pretty good with these Star Wars animated movies. And it's been enjoyable. So I'm excited to see it going. And I'm happy I'm finally on the right train to ride with everyone, unlike Clone Wars, where I keep trying to jump in, and it's been a struggle. So I'm happy I'm on the train to go along with everyone.
That's hard.
I have no idea where it's going.
Honestly, you could probably just go straight to probably season 4 of the Clone Wars, because that's really where the story starts getting good. If you're getting bogged down, anyways, because I totally get that those first couple seasons are a little bit of a slog to get through.
Yeah, you got to get to the Mortis section where we see the son, the father, and the daughter.
Yes,
that is a great.
And it is interesting. Like there is a specific way that they set up the episodes. They do usually about 4 episode arcs, and they don't really connect sometimes. So it still is kind of hard to follow, but there's a little bit more cohesiveness once you get past.
I know there's a dedicated
season 3
watch list for if you just want the good stuff.
Depending on what you're looking for, there's several watch lists.
Is there?
There's Obi-Wan centric, Maul centric, so depending on what you want.
That would be the plan for when I finally decide I'm going to do all of it. I'll look at one of those watch lists and skip over all the things I do not care about.
So Jedi, what are your thoughts? Where is the series going, and do you think this is going to be an ongoing series?
I'm not sure it's going to be ongoing, in all honesty, because Dave Filoni has so much on his plate.
Oh, man, he
sure
does
now. He's got several series and irons in the fire that it's hard to say that this will be more than a single iteration. It very well could. It has potential to be. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, because of how they're developing the characters, it very well could at least have a second season. I will say maybe 2. Because they're going to leave it, Omega's revelation, at a very key point. I think that's going to be the end of season 1. They got a lot to lead up to in 16 episodes. That very well could be the end of season 1 and on to season 2, or they'll wrap it all up there and leave it hanging. I'm hoping they make further connections, I'm gonna hope that maybe they make a slight connection with Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order. At least visit the planet. At least visit the planet and see the kid. Just even if it's passing by. And he and Omega, similar in ages. Maybe Omega's a little younger, but maybe they go on a little adventure together, kind of a thing. That's totally just my head, wishful thinking kind of thing. I think that would make great entertainment. But and to bring Cal into more cinematic animation, not just video games. So bring him into the full universe. But all right, one thing each.
Yeah, I totally agree with you though, Jedi. I think what they're doing with the show is amazing. I'm really excited to see where it goes. The Clone Wars was such an amazing show, and the spin-off of the Bad Batch, or literally any spin-off that they come off of with the Clone Wars, is going to be entertaining enough for me to keep watching it. If they come out with more more seasons of the show, I'm all in. And I think they can, because they're slow building this, and I think they're going to do some amazing things at the end of this season. I really do. I think it's going to be, it's tough for us to know what they're doing at this point, because they could literally do just about anything they want to do.
Uncharted territory.
It really is. And that's the beauty of the Star Wars universe, is that there's so much that we don't know about it, that they could go in a lot of different directions and do a lot of really cool things.
Yeah, we have end caps. We have end caps of events, essentially.
Yes.
I mean, we have, like I said, 26, 28 years from, the Battle of Endor to The Mandalorian. And then even a few years after that to get to The Force Awakens. So, I mean, we have lots to fill here. So
we got a lot of space, and I am all in for it.
Yep, I'm here.
I'm all for any Star Wars content, but this animated stuff is amazing. The animation is fantastic. They did an amazing job with the season 7 of the Clone Wars as well. Like that, give me anything animated. I'm all in. The Vision stuff that you mentioned earlier, that's going to be interesting as well, because that's another thing where we have no idea where this is going to. They could do whatever they want to do. So yeah. Anything else you guys want to say about Bad Batch? We're gonna kind of move on here.
Did you notice in I think it's the first episode when they're still kind of recapping the Clone Wars, and they show scenes of Obi-Wan and Anakin and even they actually took scenes from Episode 3 and animated them. They took scenes line for line, shot for shot, and reanimated them. I thought that was real cool.
Incredible.
Well, that's how you connect the casual fan, right? Because almost everyone's seen the movies at least, so you get those scenes and they're like, "Oh, I remember that," and then they're in. You're hooked.
Exactly.
All right,
exactly.
That's all I have to say. I have a lot more to say, but I mean, we have. It's already been an hour and a half. I think we might want to get on with things.
Oh man, we're so glad you're here, Jedi. We're having a blast.
And Mace Windu are connected.
Oh man, so many things to talk about, but we are going to move on.
Mace Windu's the father.
We are going to move on to our next segment, Hot and Snot.
Hot or snot?
So in this segment, we usually talk about some things that we like, some things that are hot, and some things that not so much we don't like, that we snot. Just because we are a little bit short on time, we're just going to pull one thing over the past couple weeks that we have either liked or disliked. So Robbie, why don't you go ahead and go first?
I don't follow your rules. Hot or snot? Okay, hot first. Mitchell's vs. the Machines on Netflix is fantastic. If you have not seen that, it's an animated kids movie on Netflix, and it is incredible. It's one of the best animated movies I've watched in a very long time. It has comedy, it has heart, it has incredible animation. It is a very good movie. Please go watch it. 6 out of 6. And then I'm snotting Zane because Zane was supposed to be here and he's not, and he didn't know where he didn't let us know where he was. So I'm very worried about Zane, so I'm snotting him. And then I'm right on the edge of either snotting it or hotting it. Army of the Dead, the new movie by Zack Snyder on Netflix. I can't decide where I am on it. There's a lot of things I like. There's a lot of things I don't like. So it is right in the middle of being hot snot. I don't know if that's probably even worse than just being normal snot, but it's right in the middle. I don't know where to put it. So
interesting.
That's
that's on Netflix, right?
That is also on Netflix. Just released yesterday.
Gotcha.
Watch it last night.
Okay. All right. We'll have to go check that out. All right, Jedi, what you got for us for hot and snot?
Hot Returnal on PS5. Absolutely love this game. So, I mean, I've recently gotten to the Souls-like genre, the rogue style. It's
Difficult
punishing.
games.
It's punishing, but it is so good. The gameplay, the graphics, the scenery is just absolutely phenomenal. It is painful when you lose and have to start all over again. It really is. But it's worth it because they make it different. So Demon Souls, they don't change things. Returnal, the whole world changes. Everything is different. Everything is different. So it actually makes it that much more fun to play because there's different secrets in these different cycles. So yeah, totally love Returnal. I know there's a friend of ours who's not as huge a fan of it and gave up on it already. Logan, I'm calling you out. But yeah, so highly recommend that. Snot, Resident Evil 8. So I enjoyed it to a degree, but they took a tone that I didn't care for, and I'm not going to go into too much detail because I have another podcast to talk about that on next week. So, but anyway, yeah, Resident Evil 8, not my favorite. It's actually my second least favorite in the Resident Evil series.
All right, yeah, and check out Reformed Jedi's channel for some gameplay and on some stuff like that. Have you been playing Returnal on stream?
Oh yes, yeah, I was playing. I beat the story. Well, I beat the story, but it's not over. That's the whole theme of that game. It doesn't end. Like so yes, I did beat it. Some of it was off stream, but yeah, I did spend some time on stream with it. So you get to see my frustration in person.
All right. Okay, so I've got a couple things here. Just number one for hot, the series MODOK dropped on Hulu, which is just wild. Holy cow, guys. Like, this is such a weird and wacky show. It's claymation. A claymation show in 2021, and it's hilarious. I don't know. I don't even know how else to describe it. Like, you guys got to watch it for yourself. It is hilarious. It's on Hulu. Check that out. That's my hot. It's very funny. It's very weird. Also, if you're not into claymation, it probably won't be your thing. But it's very funny. And my snot is that the CW just posted a poster. Okay, I'll holds barred here. I have not.
Is this the
been
Flash
watching
kid?
The Flash.
Okay.
Yeah,
yep,
this is.
I
I've
saw
not
the
been
poster.
watching the Flash for a very long time. Like, the first couple seasons were pretty good, and then they just kind of tapered off. But they put out this Flash poster of Impulse, who is Bart Allen, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Robbie, but. Like, the suit itself looks fine, but this poster looks
doing.
like somebody in 5th grade put it together. Like, it's just an awful poster.
Oh my word! I'm looking at it now.
It
Horrendous.
reminds me of a
It's
Shark Boy.
photoshopped. I mean, it's totally not his face on that body.
It's like they got the people from Shark Boy and Lava Girl to do the
Yes.
poster.
Oh, that's totally it. It's Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Like, it's Photoshop, and he's got this goofy smile on, and it's just like, what? What is going on here? It's so weird. But and then Jordan Fisher, who is the actor who is playing Impulse, he posted a picture of the suit, and the suit looks great. Like, it looks cool. But this poster is just awful. I don't know what the CW is thinking with a lot of their things, but especially this poster. It was absolute snot. Terrible. Terrible poster. So that's our hot and snot. We're going to move into the top 5.
We're going in 3, 2, 1.
You're entering the top 5 on the Infinity Bros podcast. Starting now.
So every week we like to have a water cooler discussion, a top 5 list of just pretty much anything, something that we are talking about. And today, obviously, we're talking about Star Wars. We're going to give you our top 5 Star Wars characters. And I've been making Robbie go first, so I'll go first with my top 5 list now.
We going, everyone does their 5 and so on and so forth.
Yeah, we'll do just give our whole list at the same time here. There are so many characters that I could have put on my honorable mention, so I just was like, screw that. We'll just go a straight top 5. My number 5 is Cad Bane. I think he is the coolest bounty hunter in the Star Wars universe. I love everything about him in the Clone Wars, and I really hope at some point we see a live action Cad Bane. That would be incredible. He's just a really awesome character. My number 4 is Ahsoka Tano. You can't really go wrong. She's like one of the most badass characters in the Star Wars universe. She's just a really cool character. And the depth that she gains through the Clone Wars is just amazing. Like, if you're looking for a long show that includes a lot of character development, this is like Clone Wars. For all its misgivings, for all the things that are wrong with the Clone Wars, Ahsoka Tano is probably the best thing about it, and especially, again, I've already given season 7 of the Clone Wars so much praise.
How do you name your dog after Ahsoka and put her at 4?
because I have some really cool characters at 3 through 1. Yes, my dog name is Ahsoka, and she is a female, and she's my top female on my list. So that's probably why.
Okay.
So that makes sense. Number 3 is General Grievous. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with General Grievous, but like this character is just amazing to me. Like the fact that he can just like wield 4 to 6 lightsabers, and
you like his character design.
I love that,
but you don't know why.
Oh yeah, character design. Okay, and this is General. There it is. Yes, love that. So I will give a little bit of background for those of you guys who are not super duper Star Wars fans. You may not have seen this, but there is a 2003 Clone Wars series that's kind of like anime style animation, and General Grievous is by far the most like ridiculously OP character in this series. Okay, maybe OP isn't the right word because Mace Windu like destroys whole armies in that show for some reason, but he is so cool in this show. He takes down Jedi like it's no problem at all. Like people fear him in that show, and they kind of make a joke of him in Clone Wars because he kind of is a joke in that show. But man, his character design is really cool. The fight in, I believe it's episode 2 or is it 3, where Obi-Wan faces I'm trying to remember if that's got to be episode 3, right?
In the movies?
Episode 3. Yeah, in the movies where he faces General Grievous.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite fights also in the whole like Star Wars universe. Like I love that scene. Number 2 is Darth Vader, like possibly the greatest villain of all time. Like he's iconic. Everybody knows what you're talking about when you do the Darth Vader breathing. Like Luke, I am your father, possibly one of the most iconic American lines of all time. Like incredible. And my number 1 overall is the character that Reformed Jedi bases his character off of. It is Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's nothing about Obi-Wan. Hello there. There's nothing about Obi-Wan that I don't like. I love everything about that character. He's the best like straight character in any universe, I think. Like he just like is the guy who does things the right way for the right reasons. And even though that sometimes, gets in his way, I guess I would compare him to like a Captain America in, like a Marvel universe. Like he like is the moral character that everyone looks to do the right thing. And I love that about him. And he's funny, and Ewan McGregor plays him amazingly. And I cannot wait for the Obi-Wan series that we're going to get. So that is my top 5. Jedi, why don't you go ahead with your top 5 list?
All right, my top 5, starting with number 5, would be Hondo Ohnaka. So, Clone Wars Rebels reference there, and Galaxy's Edge, if you get to Disneyland. So, Hondo Ohnaka, space pirate, always looking out for number 1, and the greatest prophet. I think he would have been a far better choice to play the role needed for DJ in Last Jedi. Think about that. If in Last Jedi, if we had Hondo Ohnaka be the one who got them out of jail but still backstabbed them in the end, it would be more comical. That would have been perfect. It would be more connective to the rest of the mythos. I just think he would have been a far better fit for that whole... That would have made that whole scene, that whole section of the movie worth watching if Hondo was that character. I digress.
That's
though.
amazing.
I just find him hilarious. He still has a soft spot, like for Ezra in Rebels. He pretends to be friends with Obi-Wan and things like this. So he's very comic relief, but he's very, very good. I do like Hondo. So number 5, number 4 is Vader. So not Anakin, but Vader. So especially Vader in his most recent comic series, the development has been fantastic. Seeing his path from when becoming Vader up until, chasing Luke Skywalker and Rebels and other Jedi that escaped has just been fantastic. And one of the most recent iterations, he's like trying to figure out what exactly happened to Padme because he doesn't really know that he killed her. He doesn't believe Palpatine when he said, "You killed her." So it's just that whole plot line that goes in the comics, fantastic. One of the greatest, obviously overpowered characters that there is. People always ask me who would win in a fight, Vader and anyone else, and basically it's Vader. He only died because he chose to give himself up. Let me put it that way. So anyway, number 3 would be Luke Skywalker. So he was the first Jedi I really connected with. I liked old Obi-Wan Kenobi, but we had Luke. He was the first, hero Jedi that we got to see start from nothing and work his way up. He always had that hope and optimism of that you want in a hero, excluding, the sequel trilogy. But he was very full of hope and optimism up until that point. But again, even seeing some of the Kylo Ren comic series kind of saw a little change and shift as to why Luke kind of shifted that way a little bit, but I digress. I've absorbed a lot of Star Wars material here to formulate these opinions. Number 2, Darth Maul.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Fantastic. I mean, we get a blip of him in the movies. A blip. Clone Wars, Rebels, and the comics just flesh out his character, his mentality to the point, like at his final scene in Rebels, you almost feel bad.
Oh, yes.
For Darth Maul.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, it led up to that. He wants revenge, but he wants a place. He wants to understand why things happened the way that they did, even in the final season of Clone Wars that he got to come back in. Just all these things, he's like, I know what's happening. We can stop it, but there's really no stopping it. It blew my mind that moment of connection after the final confrontation with Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine in the Rebels. That whole scene just was fantastic. It was over, quick battle, but the connection between the two characters was just absolutely fantastic. Because remember, Maul killed Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan's master. You would think Obi-Wan would have hatred or resentment towards him, but there was kindness, which leads me to my number 1. Of course, who do you think that would be? Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, like what Isaac said is Obi-Wan just, he is that hero. He is that one that wants to fight for justice. We have gotten to see a dark side of Obi-Wan when they murdered his beloved.
Oh, yeah.
He was not happy. He was angry, but he still chose the path of the light. And just his whole character development, again, in all the mythos, absolutely fantastic. One of the reasons, not just because I can sound like him on occasion, or even look like him if I so choose, but I just connect with that character. I love it, the development of it so much. Again, looking forward to the Kenobi series coming out next year. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait.
That's going to be amazing.
A huge shout out to, though, James Arnold Taylor, who plays the voice in the Clone Wars.
He does a good job.
Fantastic fellow. Absolutely. Yeah. Big fan of all of his work. He does, Johnny Test and all these other voices that you would never even think. Titus in Final Fantasy X. But he's also Obi-Wan Kenobi. So anyway, huge shout out to him. Now, I do have an honorable mention because I have to. Maybe not the greatest of characters yet. Lot that could have been done with, but Cara Dune, because I support Gina. So anyway, I'm done.
Okay. All right.
The unfortunate news of giving my list, which is not as in depth or educational or interesting.
Hey, this is your list, man. If you just like them because how they look like me with General Grievous, then
he had a green lightsaber. I loved it.
Yep, there you go. Mace Windu, he has a purple lightsaber. I mean, come on.
Hey, wait. Mace can't be on my list?
No. I was definitely not saying that.
Yeah. So number 5 would be Mando. I don't know if it's the whole Mandalorian is a fantastic series, but just Mando being the main character is what's driving it, and watching his development as it's been incredible to watch it, and kind of for me just to not grow up, I'm already grown, but to watch him develop and be along for the ride is very entertaining to me. My number 4 is Mace. He has a purple lightsaber. It's pretty dope.
Boom. Called it.
No, Mace Windu's awesome, and knowing very little of his backstory, but knowing kind of why he has a purple lightsaber and all that, and the way he is. it draws me to him. So it's an interesting character, and I think a lot of people like him because he's Samuel L. Jackson. So that works too.
Also that.
My number 3 is this very minor character named Obi-Wan. Doesn't do a whole lot. Not too important to the story. But I really like him.
Boring.
He seems like he's on the right foot. Not the greatest teacher. His apprentice. Sorry, I can't talk. Went on to like. Didn't have a very good apprentice. I don't know. Some
Destroy half the galaxy.
Yeah, not
basically.
a great guy. So who? I mean, if that's your apprentice, oh my gosh, words are hard.
That's a hard
Then
word to say, man.
You can't be that good of a teacher, I suppose. And then the
True.
only interesting
Good point.
character I have on here as my number 2 is Galen Merrick, or Star Killer, or known as the Apprentice.
Interesting. I did not expect that to
Darth Vader.
pop up.
Well, I actually played those games as a young lad.
There you go.
So finally getting to wield real force power with him was very entertaining. So it has always stuck with me. So it's why I've enjoyed him. I don't know if he's on to other things or I forget now exactly what happens in those stories. But I do enjoy his character and getting to play as him and be Star Killer for the time that we got to in The Force Unleashed. And then my number 1, and I don't really have a reason why, but Poe Dameron. I love Poe Dameron. I really
That's not what I was expecting.
like-
Yeah, I wouldn't think anybody loved Poe Dameron.
See, and I love Poe Dameron. I don't know why. Like, I stopped collecting Funko Pops. I collect a lot of Funko Pops. I don't buy Funko Pops of Star Wars anymore because I was buying too many and there's way too many out there. But I will buy a Poe Dameron Funko Pop if I see it. Because his X-Wing is dope.
Interesting.
He's a great pilot. He's just a happy-go-lucky guy. I love Poe Dameron. I don't know why. I just really like Poe Dameron. He's my number 1. Like, if anyone... That's the only, like, constant I have when it comes to, like, Star Wars. Because I believe we've done this list either as the Off-Topic Gamers or maybe very early on for the Infinity Bros, where we did the top 5 Star Wars characters, and I believe number 1 is usually always Poe. Poe stays up there. I just like Poe.
Interesting.
I
did not expect there to be a non-Jedi at number 1. Honestly, I thought Jedis were gonna basically sweep the board.
It's too generic for me.
You just like to be the edgy. We need somebody to be edgy since Mark's not on this podcast.
I mean, we always joke that we have to have hot takes or bad takes. I'll be the bad take where Poe Dameron's my favorite.
Robbie's the bad take guy.
Apparently,
Poe
that's what
Dameron
it
at
is.
number 1, bad take.
I went with Cara Dune as the hot take, because I knew that
There you
gets some
go.
flack.
Right.
We want to just stir the pot here and get everybody going. That's what we're doing here at the Infinity Bros. So for you guys out there, our listeners, if you guys like, share, and reply to the episode 78 social media post with your favorite Star Wars character, you will be entered to win the Thy Geekdom Come Volume 2 ebook. So make sure you do that. Like, share, and reply with your favorite Star Wars character on the episode 78 social media post. Chance to win a really cool devotional book that has, I believe, 42 full devotionals, and you can get the 5-day free devotional at geekdevo.com/infinity. Reformed Jedi, thank you so much for being on. Where can we find you on the internet?
Well, thank you for having me. Absolutely loved hanging with you, gents. So you can find me just about everywhere at Reformed Jedi. So on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram on occasion, and even YouTube, I am Reformed Jedi.
You are the Reformed Jedi, and it's been almost an hour and a half, and you are in character, and you do that for hours on your stream. I give you all the props for that because, again, I mentioned, I think, at the beginning of the call that I think maybe I could be in character for about 20 to 30 minutes. So props to you. What you do, probably is. What you do is incredible. Your stream is amazing. If you are looking for a high-quality Twitch streamer to just be entertained by, Reformed Jedi is your guy. So thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it.
Robbie, it has also been a pleasure to have you on. I won't degrade you like Max does to all of us when we close out the show. I think you did amazing, Robbie. Thank you for stepping up and taking everything that Zane didn't do on this podcast episode and taking it to another level.
It's a perfect opportunity to advance my scorecard on Zane, because Zane always likes to bring up whenever he finally does something correct that one of us did not do that something correct. So here's, just another tally for everyone else against Zane's maybe 2 tallies that he has.
Another tally on the scorecard.
There it is.
Way to go. Well, wherever you're listening, however you're listening, thank you so much, Infinity Bros Universe, for making us a part of your day. Check out the Infinity Bros at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. Robbie is streaming Sunday, Wednesdays, and Thursday nights. Jarrett streams on Tuesday nights, and I stream Thursday mornings. We love hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much for, again, making us a part of your day. We love you 3000. Bye.
And may the Force be with you. Always.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infinity Bros podcast. You can find the Infinity Bros on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Infinity Bros. Feel free to send listener feedback via email at infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com.